Welcome to the Sean Show. You can't see me. I need to get in the light. Here. Welcome to the Sean Show. I'm Sean. I'm sure you're probably wondering why it's so dark. I'm going to tell you why in 2 seconds. Look at this time right here. What does that time say? The time says... Okay, that didn't work. Anyways, 10:46 right now. And it is the night before NBA. Where am I? It is the night before. Here I come. Yeah. Oh, here I come. Okay, there it is. It is the night. Let me move my hand. It is the night before NBA free agency. Question is, who is going to what team? I have the answers right here now on the Sean Show. You ready? Let's go. You have got to be effing kidding me. Are you serious right now? You mean to tell me that this entire time there's this big old conspiracy that's been going on right now with Kawhi Leonard teaming up with Paul George? All this has been behind the scenes secret activity that no one seemed to know until now. I don't understand how this could go down, but nobody knows about it. I don't understand how the NBA would, all of its insiders have absolutely no idea that two trades, not two, but one major trade would take place, and nobody in the world knew about it except the people that were involved. OKC didn't know about it. Well, OKC didn't know. I'm upset. All right, I'm upset. This is why I'm upset. I'm just gonna be honest. This is why I'm upset. I'm upset with the fact that this was done almost like it was a secret. This was done like very, behind the scenes, hush hush, don't say anything, be real quiet type thing. Almost it was like an undermining type, secret society thing, which in reality, if that's all you wanted to do was go to the Clippers and you just had to tell the Clippers, hey, this is who I wanted, you should have said that day one. Why did you meet with the Raptors? Why did you meet with the Lakers? Why did you do all of these things to cripple these franchises? That's what I have a problem about. But even though I have a problem with it, I'm going to give you my prediction on who I think is going to rule the West. And I am going to start not with the Clippers, but with the team that's not getting a lot of love and or shine. I'm going to start with the Utah Jazz. Yeah, the Jazz got a serious squad. This is the thing about Utah. Utah, no one really talks about what they've been able to do over the last few seasons, but they've been able to really build a culture there that is really good for players who are looking to play in the city. This is not a basketball city that you would go to off the top of your head because it's Utah. Utah does not have a lot of, and no disrespect to people who live out there in Utah, but Utah just does not have the allure of a major city. There's not tons of activities going on there. So no one really looks at Utah from a perspective of that's a great basketball city, that's a great basketball team. And it's a shame that they don't look at it that way because it's mainly because of the city. It has nothing really to do with the coach. It has nothing really to do with what they've built there. But I'm gonna be honest with you, what Utah has built, they have created and I could be wrong on this, you can look this up, but I'm thinking pretty accurate on this. But Utah was #1 in the league when it came to catch and shooting. You had somebody in Donovan Mitchell whose job was to run the offense. He did a fantastic job with that, but when it came to sharing the ball handling duties, then Ricky Rubio was his right-hand man for that. they let it be known, Utah let it be known very early in the process with Ricky Rubio that, hey, we're not going to have you come back. You're not a priority. It's no disrespect, but what we need is somebody else that can handle the ball. Because what would happen is they would always crowd Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell would have to end up making a last-second play, lose the ball, do too much dribbling, do a bunch of crazy stuff just to get his team a W. Now, he was able to get his team a W in a series with OKC, but it wasn't a situation where you thought moving forward that they would go deep into the playoffs. It just was based off of the flaws of the OKC team. So now Donovan Mitchell has somebody that can handle the ball, somebody that is a very underrated, in my opinion, point guard. And Mike Conley. Not only do they have Mike Conley, but they have a very good spot-up shooter in Bogdanovic. Putting him in the corner and having Mike Conley maneuver and do all of these things that, and don't forget Rudy Gobert. Don't forget these players that they have. So one of my teams in the top 5, because I'm just naming 5 of them, to watch out for this season is definitely the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz is a team that's going to be a hard out. Doesn't matter who they face in the West, they're going to be a hard out. They have defense, they have ball handlers, they have shooters, they have a very good coach, very good system. Utah is no joke. I know what you're thinking to yourself. I know you're thinking to yourself, okay, Utah, that's great, but Utah's not going to really go deep. What team do you think is going to go super deep? Well, in my opinion, a team that's being slept on is the Houston Rockets. Now, let's forget about all this turmoil, all these trades that they were going to do, and Tillman Fertitta was going to, I'm going to change all my starting 5 if I have to. Let's forget all that. Let's forget about the fact that they got embarrassed, in my opinion, by the Golden State Warriors. Let's forget about that. Let's forget about the fact that Houston is a team that has underachieved the last 3 seasons. Let's forget about that. Let's forget about all of that stuff, right? The one thing that they have is James Harden. I don't care what anybody says. I personally am not a person that loves the way that James Harden plays. I think he abuses the rules. You can use the rules. You can bend the rules, but he's the only NBA player that I've ever seen that actually abuses the rules. Every time he shoots, he's falling down. Every time he charges, his head jerks and all that. I'm not a big fan of his playing style, but nobody in the league has been able to stop him. He's somebody that was number 2 this year in terms of being an MVP candidate for the year, but last year he was the MVP. He's coming in, I think, with a mission, and I think Houston's coming in with a mission too, because they have a chip on their shoulder. Everybody's not really talking about them. They didn't make a lot of major moves, but they have that chemistry. They have that chemistry that a lot of teams this season are going to be looking for. So I would suggest that you don't sleep on Houston, but I also would suggest too that I think they're going to make some moves. They may not make moves right now, but when the trade deadline comes, I would not be surprised if they make some moves. I am not surprised that Chris Paul is still there, only because his contract is so bad. His contract is a really, really bad contract, and you have to pair that contract with something else that makes sense. So again, at the end of the day, I do not like the way that James Harden plays, but with James Harden being a force to be reckoned with, if he gets in more shape, better shape I should say, if he trusts his teammates more, if they tweak their system a little bit, they're going to be a very tough out as well too. I would love to see Utah and Houston in the first round if we got to the playoffs, because I think that would be very entertaining basketball. But the thing is, at the end of the day, Houston has veterans, they have experience, and they're going to be a tough out. Do not sleep on the Houston Rockets.